Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
All right, thank you for joining us here on this Monday morning for First Alert 6 live streaming. I'm Erin Hartley, joined by Jade Steffens, of course, joining us for the morning crew. Yes. And Rusty Lord, you're probably up so early.
My body did take a little bit of getting used to, but I'm awake now. So
right. Wait, like 12 hours, right? You're going to feel it.
I'll be feeling it later for sure.
All right, and we are certainly feeling, of course, the cold this morning as people step outside. Don't forget the jacket.
Yeah, most school districts still have at least 2 days of school yet this week. So plan accordingly, bundle up each and every morning. And this is just the start of what's likely to be a colder stretch of weather. So let's dive right into it here. It's 27 right now. You're thinking, oh, that's not bad. But this is the key right here. 14 is the wind chill at the moment. So northwest wind is howling out there, and it's got a bite to it. The clouds are exiting, too, to the east. You can see how they're starting to clear a little bit. And what that's going to allow is for these temperatures to maybe fall another couple degrees yet before they start to warm. 27 in Omaha, 22 in Norfolk, 23 in Columbus right now. But you can see where the wind chills are. Feels like 14, like I mentioned, in Omaha. Most of the wind chills are down in the teens. A couple of single digits around Norfolk and Columbus as of right now. Satellite and radar showing the snow stayed to the northeast. Today was one of those days where I think we could get a few flurries out of this system. So far, nothing's really materialized, and a lot of that has moved off towards the east very quickly. So the clouds are clearing out like we show you right here, and that's going to allow the temperature to try to climb. Unfortunately, the north wind is going to get in the way. Gusts up near 30 miles per hour all morning. Try to back off a little bit. Could hit about 25 still most of the afternoon before they tail off tonight. So it's a cold one. It's a windy one. First alert to all of that. And now we'll take you through how the day is going to play out with the temperatures. You can see by 9 o'clock we're upper 20s in most spots with pretty good northwest wind. That's the streamlines you see there moving from the northwest to the southeast. We take you towards the lunch hour, and we're in the low 30s by then, and then it's 30s all afternoon. But I think the best we can do is about 35 today, maybe a couple of 36s. If you're watching to the southwest, Lincoln, Beatrice, you may hit 40 and help out a little bit there. But at least we get sunshine in the afternoon while that happens. By 5, we're down in the low 30s, and then continue to fall off tonight. Making way for a cold night as temperatures continue to drop off quite a bit. And by tomorrow, we're going to start off again chilly, but climb to 44 for the high. That's easily the warmest day we have this week. A little bit of a south breeze helping us to get there as well, even as the clouds increase. So probably the most sunshine we get is today. The clouds increase on Tuesday, and then a small chance of a little light morning mix on Wednesday. That too doesn't look like much of a problem leading up to Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving itself actually looks pretty darn comfortable. Or, hold on, dry. You get where you're going. It's going to be cold. That's probably the best way to put it.
I mean, out of all the scenarios that we could have instead, I don't think that's much to complain about.
You could drive through cold. You can't drive through the snow very well.
No. True. Okay, in the meantime, also, we're looking ahead to even Saturday and the weekend, coming back from maybe those Thanksgiving plans. Could be a first alert to something.
Yeah, that's the day I'm watching with first alert day potential, because there's a little clipper system. When we talk about, you might have heard us use the term Alberta clippers before, and well, it's a little narrow little path of snow that can move from northwest to southeast through the area. And Saturday morning's the time frame where it could impact parts of our area. Let me show you what I'm talking about. There is that system on Wednesday with that light morning mix. Most of that's going to stay down to our south, though, to start off the day Wednesday and zip out of here pretty quickly. So if you head to Kansas City, you may want to pay attention to that. It could be a snowmaker on Wednesday in the Denver area too, but travel immediate area within a half day's drive, not all that bad. Thanksgiving itself, pretty good. Thursday night, looking pretty good as well. Friday, not too much to worry about. It's late Friday night into Saturday. Remember, the Nebraska-Iowa game, it's in Iowa City Friday night. If by midnight Friday night you're thinking, I'm going to drive back to Omaha or Lincoln or wherever in our area, you might have a little snow to drive through overnight into early Saturday. There's 4 a.m. Saturday. So I'm worried about this putting a coating of snow somewhere in our area. You can see where this model says, it's mostly an Iowa problem. Well, different model says it may be more of a Nebraska problem. So there's some inconsistencies on where that is. Most models have it. So I'm going to be tracking this as we get closer to the weekend and giving you a first alert to any changes. Go 37 Thursday, 30 on Friday. And there's that system. If there's a first alert day anywhere in the 10-day forecast, this would be it. The cold is a lock. We're going to get down in the 20s for highs, likely in the teens for lows Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So keep an eye on that. It looks to be a 3 or 4 day shot of some colder air as we dive into that full weekend around the holidays. So watch Saturday, enjoy your Thanksgiving, but keep in mind, Saturday morning travel could be the worst.
We gave each other a look while you were on camera.
Just a little bit of stuff.
That weekend's a little bit, that might feel like a shock.
Yeah, I mean, there could be some single-digit morning lows. Not anything near record territory, but it's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
That time of year, I guess. Yeah.
All right, let's get a check in on traffic this morning. People already, even though it's early, might be heading out for their Thanksgiving travel. How are things looking so far?
You know, so far, so good across the area. That's the good news there. And if you're heading out to Epley, I would still give yourself a little bit of some extra time just because it's going to be pretty busy there this week. But a live look out at I-80, things are moving along pretty well, although I do see a lot of cars out there. So a first alert to that. Taking a closer look here at the map, there it is. Seeing a lot of green out there as well. But a few things that you should know before you head out the door. One thing we've been watching construction on, this is on Maple. Now it's been closed eastbound lanes for quite a while. Today, starting at 9 a.m., it's going to be closed in both directions. That's North 67th Street and North 70th Street. Again, that'll begin at 9 a.m. today, be in effect for today and tomorrow. So it will be pretty short-lived, but certainly may affect your commute if you do frequently travel on Maple. Now, also in that area, 72nd between Bedford and Maple. This will be scheduled for another month, more of a long-term project, but something there that may cause some slowdowns. There's also one-lane travel in both directions. This is on Ford Street between 114th and 122nd. This will be going on for 2 months, and as you can see right here, a lot of slowdowns in that area as well. A couple other things I'm keeping my eye on. The ramp is closed. If you're heading northbound on 72nd trying to get onto eastbound I-80, that is closed, so you'll want to find another route if you do travel in that direction heading out this morning, and likely that is going to be closed for a bit as well. One more thing to give you a first alert to as you're about to head out the door, various lane restrictions. This is South 20th between Elm Street and Oak Street. It'll be in effect through the end of the month, so about another week or so, seeing some lane restrictions there. But overall, if you are heading out on the roads, if you're heading out to the airport, things are looking pretty good. So no major alerts to tell people about this morning.
Good. We'd like to hear that.
Yes,
right.
Always.
Jay, thank you. Well, 2 people are in the hospital this morning after being shot in north central Omaha. This happened near 67th and Sprague just before 8 o'clock last night. Here's a closer look at that scene. Details still pretty scarce even this morning. We're hoping to get an update soon from Omaha police. We're expecting that later on today. Now, we do know that the victims, 2 of them had serious injuries. No word yet on whether the alleged shooter is in custody. Well, a 14-year-old has died after trying to cross the West Dodge Expressway. Officers were called to the area of 156th and Dodge. There, that's where they found that teen on the ground near the exit ramp. An investigation has revealed the boy was crossing the expressway when a pickup truck hit him. OPD says that driver did stop at the scene and did cooperate with the investigation. Happening today, First Alert 6 cameras will be in Saunders County District Court. That's where the suspect in a murder from 55 years ago will make his first appearance in court. As First Alert 6 alerted you last week, 77-year-old Joseph Ambrose was arrested in Oklahoma. Mary Kate Hesse was 17 when her body was found along a country road near Wahoo. She had been stabbed more than a dozen times. All right, in the meantime, we're here with at the First Alert 6 safety desk with Maria Cade. You have the very latest on alcohol consumption during the pandemic.
This first statement might be a little bit of a shock. It's been almost 5 years since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. Can you believe it?
No.
But since then, there is some new research that has been coming out that shows an uptick in drinking alcohol during that time, especially during the beginning few months or year during the COVID-19 pandemic. So during those first few years, they're saying that more people are turning to alcohol to cope with that stress. And there was also a spike in alcohol-related deaths, according to this report. Now, one doctor from the University of Southern California says he's seeing more patients with liver failure since this time. That condition, of course, is often associated with excessive alcohol use. A new study that he conducted was tracing people's alcohol consumption between 2020 and 2022. And it shows both men and women drank more compared to a similar study that he did back in 2018. Now, those experts are also saying after this research has been coming out, they're hoping that there is some better messaging about the harmful effects of alcohol coming out to sort of, keep people informed on this.
Yeah, a lot of things really different during that time in
Absolutely.
lockdown.
Yes.
All right. In the meantime, you also have a good first alert. Keeping up updated about that Boar's Head deli meat recall. This is kind of important because people might be consuming this week.
Absolutely. Well, we've been talking about it for so long, it seems. This has been a months-long saga, but finally some good news is coming out of this information. So there was that listeria outbreak, if you remember. Well, it is safe to eat that deli meat again. So some good news there. The CDC says that deadly listeria outbreak from the deli meat is over. Now, the agency says that all products impacted from that outbreak, now they're past their shelf life. So they say it's not likely that these could be eaten, but if you do have any, make sure you check the dates, throw them out if you still have some. It's also been 2 months since the last reported illness from that outbreak. There were 60 hospitalizations from that across 19 different states, and 10 people died as a result of that. If you remember, this was leading to a lot of scrutiny from Boar's Head and their facilities where they make the different deli meats. In September, one of those plants in Virginia, it was actually permanently closed down. And then after that, the company discontinued its liverwurst products. That was one of the main sources for the outbreak. So they took those off the shelves. Finally, now the CDC is saying this outbreak is done.
Okay, first charcuterie boards again this week for appetizers.
Yep.
That's some good news.
Yep.
Okay, Maria, thank you so much. All right, we'll be back after this. All right, time now 7:15. Lots of people already looking ahead to the Thanksgiving holiday, of course. Today, of course, it's going to be chilly. Is that going to last into Thursday?
Unfortunately, that looks to be the case. Average highs are 40s for this time of year. I think we're going to end up with 30s over the Thanksgiving holiday. So I'll give you a little idea of where we should be and what I expect. 37 degrees. It's just the start of a colder stretch of weather, though, and local travel right now looks to be okay over the holiday itself. One thing we haven't talked about too much is the game in Iowa City. It's on our channel, by the way. It's Friday night, not Saturday night. It's Black Friday, 6:30. They slid it to a night game, and it looks like that is going to make for a cold one. 20s, it looks like, around kickoff. Thankfully, the numbers don't nosedive because of increasing clouds on Friday. Steady temperatures, light breeze, thank goodness, and I do believe the snow should hold off until after the game if there's going to be any, but you may travel back through that if you leave after the game, say 10, 11 o'clock, and try to get back to Omaha. 3 or 4 hour drive, I'd say, from Iowa City. There could be a little overnight snow falling as you head back this direction, and some of this could linger into Saturday morning. This is the next potential for a first alert day and maybe our first potential for some snow. But notice this model says most of it's going to be in Iowa and not really impact us too much, at least on this one. But there's a lot of inconsistency. I show you this. Look at where this stripe tries to go, right through our area, and it would bring with it potential for, again, a little bit of snow accumulation on Saturday morning. So this is what we're going to be watching for as we go through this stretch here. There's the system that's moving through this morning. It zipped to the east pretty quickly, and there's not too much left of it. Behind it, the winds are still gusting up near 30 miles per hour this morning. Some gusts near 25 miles per hour as we make our way into the afternoon. What does that mean for our temperatures? Well, at least we get sunshine here pretty quickly, but only 35 for the afternoon high. That'll be the best we can do here on the short-term forecast. Now, there is the possibility of a little light wintry mix Wednesday morning. You can see a couple little specks showing up here 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So we'll watch that Wednesday morning, see if that can turn into anything. Right now, I don't foresee a big problem out of that. And then as we go into the afternoon, the clouds should clear out and give us a chance to climb close to 40 degrees for the high, but that is about it. So we'll keep a small chance of a little morning precipitation in there. Overall, probably not a big deal. And then there's the high of 30 on Friday in Iowa City, or in Omaha, but in Iowa City, probably going to be a little bit colder than that, down in the 20s. So bundle up if you're going to stand outside at a football game for 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
4 hours.
Yeah. 3, 4, maybe more if you're going to tailgate too.
Yeah.
All right. And also dipping into the weekend, we're going to really dip into those temperatures, 20s.
That's the thing. We were just talking about the snow potential, but we haven't talked about the cold yet, and that's coming. Get ready for some cold numbers here Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I think there's 3 days there that likely won't get out of the 20s for a high, and morning lows dip down close to 10 in the area. Now, it rebounds quickly. We will jump back up near 40 degrees by Wednesday afternoon, and there's signs anyway in the first full week of December that the coldest of the air starts to slide to the east. Odds at least getting us closer back to average in our area with warmer air to the west. So we'll see if there's another cold area poised to drop in from the northwest. But as of right now, bank on some cold this upcoming weekend. And like I said, you can drive through cold, can't drive through snow very well. We'll keep an eye on the Saturday system for you, see if there's a first alert day in there.
Although we're saying how, okay, it's going to be cold, overall, not a bad forecast. Though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, very uneventful, thank goodness.
Yeah. All right, Rusty, thanks. Hopefully the roads are pretty uneventful as well, Jade.
Yeah, so far this morning, haven't seen any major issues. So that's great news, especially for those heading out to the airport or driving for their morning commute. Now, taking a live look out, this is the live look at the JFK I-80 interchange. Traffic has certainly picked up, but really no major issues at this point in the morning. And also seeing a lot of green out there on the map, but of course a lot of construction projects to give you a first alert to, and an oil spill that's been reported. This is in the area of 72nd Street in the southbound lanes approaching Blondo, and there has been reports of police on the scene. I got our first report on that about an hour ago, so this is an ongoing thing. If you're traveling in that area, just be aware. If you're heading out to the airport this morning, though, things are looking great. Really not seeing any traffic issues if you are heading out on Abbott Drive. Maybe a little bit of some slowdown if you're heading from Carter Boulevard, but overall pretty smooth traveling for this morning. If you're traveling from Elkhorn, I'd give yourself about 30 minutes. If you're traveling from Bellevue, about 20, and downtown 10 minutes for that commute, but I would give yourself a little bit of extra time just because it's going to be a busy week for the airport, Erin. All
right, like to see the green. Jade, thanks. Well, homelessness is an issue on the rise in Omaha, and Mayor Jean Stothard's office met with residents to address some of their concerns. Tamara Dwyer, the city's homeless services coordinator, led that meeting. Recently, Omaha piloted a hotels to housing program, and Dwyer says it saw great success.
At the end of October, we saw over 78% of people that were exiting to positive destinations, whether that's shelter, temporary housing with friends and family, or their own housing, but off of the streets.
Well, Dara says a long-term solution is permanent, affordable housing. Still ahead on Daybreak streaming, a Thanksgiving cooking contest with the usual ingredients, or maybe the unusual ingredients. We hope you've had your breakfast already, or at least by the time we get back on First Alert 6 streaming. All right, cooking contests are pretty common these days, but one competition held in Idaho last week definitely stood out for its unusual ingredients. All right, in honor of Thanksgiving, organizers in Idaho Falls tasked folks to come up with the best bugs-giving side dishes. Now, dishes included different insects such as crickets, mealworms, or even black ants.
So basically what I'm looking for is a flavor that kind of fully incorporates the insect's flavor. So each insect has a slightly different flavor profile, and depending on people's culinary skills, it will either blend really well with whatever food that they're using, or it will stand out really strongly.
Now, the big winner was a jalapeno cornbread topped off with honey and crickets. And before maybe you say, ew, I wouldn't eat that, remember different cultures in many different countries do regularly consume bugs as a snack. Yeah, crickets are very, very common.
I won't knock it till I try it.
Yeah, I mean, has anyone ever had a bug?
I don't think I have, but I mean the ones who were cooking in the competition, it looked like they had a little bit of expertise when it came to cooking when she was talking about the flavor profiles and everything. So I think they might be able to turn out some good dishes, maybe.
I've heard crickets are actually kind of good.
Yeah, maybe a little crunchy.
Oh, maybe just like if you're uneasy, don't think about it when you're eating it.
Close your eyes.
Blend it in enough with stuff that you're familiar with, and you might not even know it's there.
Yeah,
good point.
All right, that's going to do it for us on First Alert 6 live stream. We're going to get ready for our cut-in. That's going to be happening in just a couple of minutes. You can watch us while we work. In the meantime, have a great start to your Monday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Welcome back. Time now 7:26. Going to check in on traffic this morning with Jade Steffens.
Yeah, and things are moving along pretty well at this point in the morning. A live look at the I-80 JFK interchange. Traffic is moving along smoothly, but there is a new crash that I do want to give you a first alert to. This is 680 southbound to westbound Dodge Expressway. The right shoulder is blocked, and as you can see, a lot of backups in that area. So if you're traveling that way, do be aware of that. But outside of that, things are moving along pretty well. But we do have a pretty cold day ahead of us. Let's head over to Rusty with details on that.
All right, thanks, Jade. Yeah, let's talk about what we have happening here. The clouds are clearing off to the east, so we're going to be left with some sunshine. It's just going to be some chilly sunshine the way it looks. 27 degrees, feels like temperature of 14 right now, so the air's got a bite to it. Notice 27 feels like 14, 29 feels like 16 in Nebraska City. Some single-digit wind chills to the northwest, and that's the direction our wind is coming from. Gusts up near 25 miles per hour, maybe even some near 30 miles per hour here early this morning. Wind chills in the teens this morning become 20s this afternoon. And the winds still gusting near 25 miles per hour this afternoon. So bank on windy and cold the rest of the day, basically. Aaron?
All right, now to the 6 things you need to know before you go. 2 people are in the hospital this morning with serious injuries. They were shot near 67th and Sprague last night. No word yet about what led up to the shooting or if the alleged shooter is now in custody. The time now 7:27. Back here in about 25 minutes with another update.